Located just 45 minutes from the greater Los Angeles area and just 10 minutes from the burgeoning communities of Palmdale and Lancaster, Leona Valley has long been considered a last bastion of civility given the ever-increasing sprawl of elbow-to-elbow urban and suburban living. It's a place where, whether you're blue-collar or white, your workaday world can end and a truly comfortable and safe home life can begin, all less than an hour's drive from the crime and congestion of the LA basin. With most properties ranging from 1 to 10 acres and some as large as 40. The town's a veritable throwback community of just 1,500 residents, each preferring to live a life with country values over the big city's issues of increasing crime and, of course, congestion. It's a place where neighbors still watch out for each other, a place where people still take time to stop and chat with one another, or just wave hello as they drive by. And it's a place where folks who are just as likely, on weekends anyway, to recognize you at a distance from the horse you ride or the truck you drive. In short, it's the proverbial one-stop sign community, where country store meets country cafe, meets country feed, meets country gas. And if you need any more than that, well, the city life with its big box stores and shopping malls is just a short 10-minute drive down the road. And watching over it all was to be, a decade ago anyway, Darbar, a magnificent 10-acre property destined to be a private estate conceived to exist on, quite frankly, one of the area's very few hilltop properties, with views that will forever extend well beyond the valleys below. Now, true to its namesake, the owner, a highly respected and renowned Los Angeles architect, envisioned his creation of Darbar, meaning the king's private compound, as a secluded, tri-level complex that would be home to his family and, of course, his prized animals, as well as a retreat for his well-heeled clients and guests, the place that was well removed from the business world of Los Angeles. And today, that vision is immediately evident from the extensive preparatory work that's been done on the property over the intervening years. Entering the property, we immediately notice a vast, slightly sloping area to the left. Already cleared of vegetation and contour leveled, this lower acreage was once envisioned as the compound's equestrian center, with ample room for the estate's barn and tack quarters and, of course, ranch office, as well as turnout pasture for the owner's horses and his other beloved animals. Proceeding up the road a bit, again to the left, one encounters another fully graded area of approximately 1,500 square feet, which was cleared and leveled preceding to the construction of the envisioned facility manager's home. During the design and development of the property, the owner used the pad as a place for his Airstream, giving him the ability to enjoy his creation on weekends as it unfolded. That use continues today, but for the successful investor, the area continues to be well suited to a permanent ADU or accessory dwelling unit for use as either an income-producing property, a guest cottage, or perhaps a mother-in-law's residence when the main house is completed and family visits. As an aside, the successful investor may also wish to purchase the Airstream at an additional cost for use as his or her own vision takes flight. Ever the consummate professional who thoroughly enjoys entertaining as many clients and guests at his company retreats, overlooking the area, the owner created a 12,000-gallon natural pond which also feeds a smaller koi pond below via an attendant waterfall, all of which is surrounded by an outdoor seating and entertainment area complete with small stage and gazebo. As is apparent in a landscape naturally devoid of anything but native scrub brush, today the area is inundated with non-native vegetation and shade trees, having been introduced by the owner for his own comfort and, of course, that of his guests, and all of which enjoy automatic irrigation from the on-property private well with sufficient flow rate to satisfy not only the county's property requirements, but the envisioned needs of the entire state as well. Continuing on up the road, a magnificent hilltop plateau awaits, which the owner had cleared and graded specifically for his own main house. Measuring just over 10,000 square feet, an area which is of course expandable with additional grading should the successful investor wish. It offers an uninterrupted 360-degree view of the entire valley below. Now immediately evident from this elevated perspective is the fact that there are only a limited number of comparative hilltop locations, which one day, of course, will be available for sale and construction, with one magnificent property now being graded for its new owner. Remarkable, though, is the fact that, by comparison and without exception, all of the adjacent properties are well below the elevation of this estate property, rendering this panoramic view as permanent as it is uninterruptible. Now, when considering the acquisition of any elevated property in areas like this, of special consideration has to be the fact that the purchase price will always fail to include things like the cost of providing property access to or hilltop grading of the property sufficient to accommodate home construction. For comparison, we're informed that the cost of grading the adjacent parcel now exceeds $150,000, which, quite frankly, is a significant financial consideration for any investor. Also of significant note is the fact that providing utility services, including things like water and electricity to the unimproved property, is also always excluded from the acquisition price. For a comparative example, securing water for the Darbar estate property required drilling a private well to a depth of approximately 200 feet, with today's average cost of drilling starting at $125 a foot, excluding, of course, the cost of the well casing and the pump and the conduit lines to the holding tank and other things. Providing water to any future development may well add upwards of $25,000 to $30,000 to the cost of a new home's development. Add in the cost of bringing electricity to a new property, which, using the current Southern California Edison unit cost guide, could easily reach $30,000 to $50,000, and the value of the owner's preparatory work at Darbar Estate becomes exceedingly financially important. There can be little argument that Leona Valley is a unique enclave given its proximity to the smaller cities of Palmdale and Lancaster, as well as the larger greater Los Angeles area, making the quiet, the solitude, and quite frankly, the safety of this small town America readily available to any astute investor. But what is wholly inarguable is the fact that while big city sprawl is ultimately a threat anywhere, the simple geography of this community generally, and the location of this magnificent estate property specifically, virtually ensures its immunity to the kind of overdevelopment that results in an elbow-to-elbow lifestyle that other areas are destined to suffer. So whether it's a safe and secure environment in which to raise a family, or merely an investment opportunity as a hedge against the ever-increasing cost of real estate, considering the fact that some $230,000 of erstwhile capital improvements are already included in the estate's asking price of $279,950, there can be little argument that the acquisition of this magnificent property will not only provide a wonderful beginning, but also a stable financial foundation for whatever phase of life comes next.